Okay. All right. So I'm looking like a baby boy, but you know what? It's hot out. So this is how I deal with that. Am I the asshole? Shouted at my parents after they entered my home while I was asleep. Gonna go ahead and say no, but let's see. I live a 2-minute walk away from my parents. My aunt is visiting. My plans changed last minute for an event to happen today instead of tomorrow. My parents tried calling me at 9 a.m. twice. And when I didn't answer, I wear earplugs to bed because my cats do cat things at night. That's what we should do. That's what we should do. I'm just getting advice here at this point. Earplugs? I feel like it'd be annoying to wear earplugs though. Like I'd get bothered by that. How annoying are any earplug wearers in the comment section? Let me know how annoying it is or how much of a process it was cuz I feel like if I shove earplugs into my ears, it's going to like build up earwax or something and I'm going to wake up not being able to hear. I don't know I don't know if that's a dumb thing, but like I don't know, man. I'd be producing a lot of earwax is what I'm trying to say here. But so really what I'm trying to ask is anyone that uses earplugs that also happens to produce a fair amount of earwax, can you let me know if you know that's a problem? My dad decided to just come in at 9:30. My dog, who was in my room with me, started to lose his mind, which woke me up. I sleep naked. After pulling out my earplugs, I could tell that there was someone in my house, and obviously I was terrified. I grabbed my intruder blaster and poked my head out of my bedroom door to my dad in my living room. I was still half asleep, so I don't exactly know what I yelled at him besides, "Of course I didn't answer you. It's 9 in the morning, and get out." 9 in the morning is not that early, but I feel you. No one should just randomly go into your house um at any time. You should knock, you know? Um Unless you've been missing for a long time. But if this is just like, you know, if you talked to them recently, it's not like they were panicking. I don't know, whatever. Um, where were we? Get out, I'm naked. What is wrong with you? Get out. But I feel bad now. After he left, I tried to call back my mom, but she didn't answer. Eventually, I got a text from her apologizing for scaring me, but apparently they were just so worried that I hadn't answered their calls and texts at 9 a.m. on a Sunday that they had to come over and had been knocking on my door and my windows before deciding to come in. I texted her back saying that I didn't know what about my aunt coming down to visit made them lose their manners about my house. They acted in a different way last year when she came to visit, but that they needed to cool it. I did not go into the event because no further information was. I assumed they intended to pick it up this morning. We can address with me. I'm just pissed because I'm going to be real with you. Oh wait, I'm pissed because I missed out on a beach trip with friends to see my aunt, little cousin, and nephew this weekend. And just like last year, they're acting like everyone should bend over backwards to accommodate them for last minute decisions. Edit, they do have a key to my house. Um, I mean, just walking into your house is a wild thing. They could knock, especially if it's like last minute. It's not like you were dying. I honestly stopped reading after cat things like what? There is a tax, you know. What? I should tax my cats for being noisy and playing with each other at night? They are unemployed. I don't know where they would get the money from. Oh, there's a tax to post. I forget that I'm on Reddit. Oh, there's a tax. You have to post a picture of the cats. Yeah, cat tax. Not the asshole. Time to change your locks. I want to go ahead and see a controversial one. Your dad was worried about you. You can't be that worried all the time, man. So something you wanted to take part in suddenly changed from tomorrow to today, and they knew you wanted to take part, so they tried to inform you. You didn't answer your phone several times. You didn't react to them ringing the door or knocking the windows. It was 9:30 a.m. Many people were up by then, so they came in. They have a key. What exactly did they do wrong here? You're the asshole. I would disagree. Because not answering a text isn't an emergency, and they don't have the right to enter someone's house because they're impatient. It's not an opinion. They do not have the right. She's an adult woman with her own right to privacy. So were they just supposed to not attempt getting in touch with OP, knowing that she wanted to go to the event? Yes, exactly. If she didn't wake up, if y'all changed it last minute, and apparently this is a very common thing, if they changed it last minute and you couldn't get a hold of her, my reaction would be, I guess she's not going. And then if I was the person that was asleep and I missed it because I was asleep, first off, I'd be like, why did you change it? Weren't we supposed to hang out on Monday? Now you're saying it's Sunday. It's why did you change it last minute? But also at the same time, I can't get mad I was asleep. Send a follow-up text explaining the plans changed. They are leaving earlier, and because they couldn't get a hold of her by text or in person, she will need to drive up by herself if she doesn't respond by XX time. Include the address and say they hope she's okay and that they hope to see her there. That's literally exactly what I would do. I would tell them, obviously, I'd text if they didn't wake up. I would send another text message, or after calling or whatever, I'd send another text message saying, hey, we'll be here with blah, 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 blah. Show up when you want. Did she tell them that the key was for emergencies only and not to enter if it wasn't life and death? Whatever. Yeah, I'm kind of confused. What would they need a key for if not for an emergency? Yes, they misjudged, but people die alone all the time and with no response after several attempts. It's understandable they would make sure she's okay. I'm really confused by the privacy comments. Because, like, here's the thing. This isn't like they hadn't communicated for like weeks or months at a time. This is like you probably communicated somewhat recently, and then you randomly decided that because you couldn't get a hold of her that morning, which by the way is a Sunday, not being awake at I'm not going to judge you. I know I said like 9:30 is not that early, but if you're asleep at 9:30 on a Sunday, I'm not going to judge you. Why is that? Because it's a Sunday. It's a weekend. I'm not going to judge you if you don't wake up until, like, if you don't get out of bed till like 11 o'clock. I'm not going to judge you. It's a Sunday. You know what I mean? That is the day. That's a day off. That's literally my first assumption is going to be, oh, she's asleep. I'm going to vote not the asshole, but I'm leaning a bit you're the asshole because I question if you're a reliable narrator. You told us you sleep naked for dramatic effect, implying, oh my God, my dad almost saw me naked. No, nothing close to that happened. He was in your living room in a house he has the key to. You came out and saw him. If you weren't presentable, that's on you. Get the fuck out of here. I mean, you can't get mad at him. Look what you were wearing. She just woke up, dude. She just woke up and she probably thought an intruder was in her house. Your father was worried he couldn't get in touch with you and thought something bad happened. He was wrong and immediately jumped to the conclusion that there was an intruder, or you immediately jumped to the conclusion that there was an intruder in your house. You were wrong. It's not exactly balanced, but you overreacted. I added I was naked because it made me even more afraid that someone was in my house. No one wants to be fight an intruder with their tits swinging, but I understand. They texted, they called, they knocked. Clearly, you don't watch Dateline. Stop watching Dateline. Stop watching Dateline. Stop watching Dateline. This is the whole reason that these situations happen, because y'all watch too many Dateline, blah, blah, blah. You listen to too many murder, death podcasts. Y'all listen to too much of that shit, and you think, oh, it could happen to anybody. It could happen to me. Listen, it could happen to anybody. It's probably not going to happen to you. The odds of it not happening to you are higher than the odds of it happening to you. Now, I'm not saying you should always kind of be like, but I mean, this is like a night, man. This is like 9:30 in the morning. The odds are she's probably just asleep. And look, I always do this thing, and I think people get worked up because I do this, because I use like my personal examples of like how my family acts, how my significant other acts. My family, if I'm not up at 9:30 in the morning and they text me, they're just going to wait until I get up. Like, listen, my parents, for the love of God, they can't, when they're on vacation, they do not wake up on time. I could say, hey, we have to be somewhere at 10:30. They will not be up at 10:30. Like, not even, like, we have to be somewhere at 10:30, not up at 10:30. We have to be somewhere at 10:30. They will not be up at 10:30. So I'll text them and I'll say, hey, we called, tried to wake you up. We're going to go ahead and head to the place. Just show up when you're, when you're ready. And they do, I don't understand the reaction. Screaming at your dad, get out, I'm naked. Why not just Jesus Christ, you scared. Okay, that's whatever. Of course, they would be worried about you, but they should have waited for you. No, nothing about sleeping in past 9 a.m. Sunday is reasonable grounds for them to worry enough to break in. She's sleeping in, and then there's not answering, constant knocking, doorbell ringing, and window taps after missing call. I'm going to be honest with you. Y'all are a different breed of person. Now, it's one thing if we had pre-existing plans and you were knocking on my window or whatever, and you knew and I knew about the pre-existing plans, but if you're showing up to my house because you came with a last-minute plan to do something and you're knocking on my window, you've already annoyed the shit out of me. Because it's like the weekend, it's 9:30 in the morning, I probably wanted to sleep in. You've already annoyed the shit out of me. I'm telling you this right now. We have cameras in the house. And when I'm traveling, I use the cameras to spy, and when my girlfriend's traveling and I'm home, she uses the cameras to spy on me. You know what I'm saying? One thing that drives me insane is when I'm sleeping and she wakes up before me and she hops on those cameras like, what are you doing? And it's like, I guess I'm up now. I guess that's what I'm doing, is being up. It drives me insane. Stop waking people up, okay? Let me get my deep sleep. I'm not getting enough deep sleep. I'm not getting enough REM sleep. I can tell you right now, I've had an attitude all day today. Like, I'm legitimately stopping. I'm no longer having alcohol or edibles because I read a study that says edible use really any recreational marijuana use, can ruin your deep and REM sleep. It can put you to sleep faster, which is why I use it in the first place, because I have a hard time sleeping. But the quality of the sleep you get is bad. And days like today, dude, I've been grumpy all day today. Okay? So, soft, you're the asshole. They were worried about you. But when is 9 a.m. too early to call someone? Obviously, in this case, you were sleeping, but most adults are awake by then. It was definitely not an unreasonable time to call you. It absolutely is, especially on a weekend. On weekends, or maybe she works night shift, but also it's a weekend. Most adults are. It's a weekend, man. If somebody doesn't answer my text at 9 o'clock on a Saturday, I'm going to assume it's because they're sleeping in, They normally are working 10 hours a day. Like, Jesus. I can see both sides here. I mean, I can technically see both sides here too, because, sometimes when you can't get a hold of somebody, you start to go a little panicky. But I fail to see how you're an asshole just because you got scared because at 9 o'clock in the morning, they just came into your living room. Who just does that? Who does that? That's crazy. Dad, chill. I'm out swinging. You know what I mean?